Hi there, Pisces, and welcome to your final forecast of the year. This is December 2016. And as we look at this forecast, which by the way you can use for your rising, your sun, or your moon, I wanted to focus more on one big thing for every sign for the channeled information, and that was how to increase your skills of empathy, how to put yourself in someone else's shoes so that you can better communicate and hopefully have fewer conflicts. And I was inspired because if you've been watching the news over the past few months, it's difficult not to see negativity or reading the news or just sort of watching the way people have been reacting to current events. And so I thought one thing we could all do to make it feel a little bit better is actually by demonstrating what we didn't see over the past month or two, which is kindness, understanding, empathy, polite behavior, manners, all of these things that kind of have fallen away. So that's my encouragement for each sign. For you, the specific message, though, when I was thinking about that and thinking about you, was actually more than a word. It was renewed purpose. And I like the idea of renewal or renewing something, because what it means is sometimes we we pick something and we just stick with it. And sometimes it doesn't always make sense. When we're a little kid, we get to change what we want to do like every 5 minutes. What do you want to do when you grow up? Okay, you want to be a fireman, you want to be a nurse, you want to be a doctor, you want to be an artist, you want to cut hair, whatever it is, and parents let you do it. For some reason, once we get like over 18, we're not allowed to change our purpose. I'm not saying you should do it every 5 minutes like a 5-year-old, but what you can do is, I think it's very natural for us to go through ebbs and flows. So you may be in a part of your life where, okay, maybe it did make sense to study this or practice this or be with this person, but maybe after 7 years, 10 years, 20 years, that no longer feels accurate or like part of your life. And so if that's what's happening, if you actually are feeling a little bit of a disconnect between present situation, life purpose, then it's time to renew that and think, okay, you know what, I'm going to change. I'm going to change trajectory a little bit. And speaking from experience, when I took a career shift, it was probably the best thing I ever did in my life, I would say. And I had to give up something I'd done for 15 years. So even if you've been doing something for a very long time, that doesn't mean that it's the it's the only thing that you can do. You'll have to excuse me. Usually after I've done all the readings, I do lose my voice a little bit, so let me take a drink of water. All right. Renewed voice, renewed purpose. Let's take a look at how the Celtic cross looks for you, and we'll move forward from there. For those of you that are new, every month I take a look at general information that comes through, and then I expand it out. That's why it's called an expanded forecast, to include health, wealth, love, and destiny. And I also pull a card, and I'll do this in just a moment, that's a catalyst that's going to connect to everything that you see. So let's look at that very important catalyst card next and see how all of this is going to fit together, what the theme of this month is for you, really. So it's a lovely card, actually. And it goes on with that theme of how to make the world a better place, which is friendship. And I'll read what it says here. It says, I understand that a friend is in my life for a reason. And I like that because also some friends are sort of permanent and stay until the end of your days, and some are more sort of like transient. They come in, they come out, they serve a purpose, they don't. So what I want you to do is be open to all types of friendships, and you'll notice that this is sort of like a nerve almost. If it feels good, if they're helping you, if they're actually improving your general state of being, then it's a good thing. And if there's tension, then it's probably a karmic lesson that you have, and you can decide if you want to stick with the friendship, if you're going to work through that lesson, what it's going to mean to you. Now let's take a look here. So guess what? That means relationships are going to be your main focus this month. With friendship, it's basically all about friends, family, and loved ones. And I'm seeing that in the cards as well. So this goes right with what I was talking about, renewed purpose. The Four of Cups, as beautifully illustrated here, shows someone who's got a lot of things to be happy with in their life, and happy for, but there's something more. There's something they need. Either they're missing an opportunity or a blessing, or on some levels they feel like they're missing out. I will say this, I think that if this is something that you feel strong about, you should move forward with it. This also applies to your general health, which I see as being in a very good place. The only thing that could be bringing you down this month is a little bit of emotional stress. So when we're looking at relationships, I feel like most of what's happening right now is coming from past relationships. Deep, also very, very deep friendships. So with the Six of Cups, there could have been someone in your life that you saw as like your one love, or your best friend, or a brother or sister who you just really, really loved, almost felt like, you know, you were connected at the hip, but now there's been separation, time, distance, maybe even the relationship is strained. What I see is the capacity and the ability to reconnect with that person. The love still exists. So it just depends how you want to sort of renegotiate the terms of the friendship, or kind of like revisit and see where do we want to take this. But from what I'm sensing, if there's been something that's lost, strained, or isn't what it was, the good news is it's still there, and there's still more than enough to go around. As an aspect of you, this card begs for moderation. It usually comes when there's a lot of celebrations, which we see happening in the month of December, whether it's New Year's or one of the many holidays that falls over the course of December. I want you to be careful about your time, your energy, your money. It seems like all of that could be sort of in flux this month. Even though I see some, and I do see monetary improvement for you too, like with your budget, because we have the Seven of Pentacles, which usually when I see this, I'm always very happy that someone is either aware of their challenges or is actively working to reduce, eliminate, or overcome them. Usually is a card of savings and recovery. And what I see here is either a gift of money, so possibly a bonus for some of you, or a new job that's better paying. The caution that comes through with these three cards, and actually this card in the center is a motivator. This is a card of excess, this is a card of needing to balance, and this is a card of overindulging. Both of these cards are overindulging, and then the sort of purpose of that, or what's happening here, is filling a gap through spending, or through eating, or through substance abuse or something. So if that happens, I want you to moderate your sort of tendencies here, and your will is stronger than the emotions, is what I see. And there's a lot of people around you that can add support. So for those of you that are feeling a little bit sad or lonely, or feeling like you can't get things under control, I sense a lot of support for you. One of those supports could actually be your mom, your wife, or a very strong female sort of maternal instinct, not instinct, but maternal presence in your life. So if that person's around and you feel like reaching out to them, I feel like they could actually help you stay grounded and get through any challenges you feel this month. There's potential for new relationships this month, not a surprise since we had friendships. So if it is a friend, it's a water sign like a Cancer, Scorpio, or Pisces, or someone really open-minded and very kind is what I'm getting from this, kind and sweet. If you're looking for love, it could be someone significantly younger than you, because whenever I have the Emperor or Empress and then the Page of Cups, I see a difference in age, and it looks like the woman in this relationship could be a little bit older, if there is one, or the one that has the more maternal energy could be a little bit older, because the Empress can also be a man, but as can the Page, so it's tricky with those two. What I do see though is a potential or desire from that person that you might be meeting to take this to more of a dating relationship than just a friendship. Or you may feel that way, but what I'm getting here is that both parties are not in agreement. That's why it's in reverse. So one thing that you want to do, and I think that was the channeled information for Aquarius, is to validate. And don't assume anything. So you could just ask the person in some way if they feel the same way and if they want to pursue something more. And if not, say, no problem, I just thought I'd check. There's never a harm in asking and validating and checking something, only in assuming and then possibly taking someone by surprise. But yeah, money situation should be improving as long as you don't overspend or overindulge. Health situation's pretty good. I want you to be very careful with alcohol this month. And be also very careful with staying hydrated and your blood sugar levels. All right, so let's expand your forecast, and we'll start first with health and see if there's any additional insights for health. Grounding. So grounding is literally sometimes just getting outside in nature, getting your feet in the sand, in the dirt, or if it's bad weather, this can just mean getting into an element. So for those of you that swim, it's a great way to get connected with the earth. Or if it is sort of raining or snowing outside, it is just about feeling that element for a little bit and feeling like you're part of this planet. Talking to somebody as well to feel like you're emotionally grounded and you're safe. Working on those it's gonna help you. It seems like it's more emotional this month than physical. So the only thing I will say with the grounding card and that tree card is it can have a connection with the root chakra, which would be right around the base of the spine, around the sexual organs. So for those of you that are experiencing any sort of discomfort, maybe spinal injuries or things like that, or anything that's going on in your reproductive system, this is a time for you to get that checked out and go to a doctor and take care of that, because it's important and it's going to affect everything. But particularly spinal discomfort, injury, maybe you need an adjustment, like a chiropractic adjustment. I want you to have a very sort of strong support in your body as well as sort of in your mind. When we look at your career, this card has come up so much for like 2 or 3 signs this month. But so it's a common thread, and I think all of us can work on this. So balance. This means work-life balance, but also balancing out your needs with the needs of others. So we talked about empathy. This card illustrates empathy beautifully. There is a warning with this particular card to not let someone else's needs eclipse yours, but we're talking about meeting halfway, and I think this card is showing that. So it's going to benefit you with work situations. So remember to try to understand their point of view, to validate that you know what they're saying, and I think you're going to get into a great position possibly at work with that. So now let's take a look at your love and romance. This is precisely what I saw with the Two of Cups. So one, or either you or the partner could be feeling something that the other doesn't. Whether it's just that you want to be friends, that you felt a connection, or that you love the person and you would like to engage in a sort of courtship or dating, I don't feel like it's necessarily going to be what you expected. So what I would say this month when it comes to relationships overall is feel free to date, but really make sure, and I feel like it's attached to a water sign and a very nurturing energy, make sure that that person's interested. I think that if you had 2 potential partners, the earth sign, which could be a Taurus, a Virgo, or a Capricorn, versus the the water sign, which is a Cancer, Scorpio, or Pisces, is going to be a better match for you. And that makes sense, honestly. Sometimes, water and water can be a lot. So anyway, that's what I'm sensing for relationships. Be cautious and make sure that you know what the person is looking for. When we look at your destiny card, this month, it's about listening to your intuition. And I think you already have some sort of an insight in what this hiccup could be with your relationship, so pay attention. Likewise with your budget and with the limits on how much to splurge. So to review everything today, your channeled information was to really come up with a renewed purpose in what you want to do in your life. And if I were to look at that, I feel like you may need to do some thinking about this. You kind of already know, but you need to rediscover what it is, because you could be living within the filters of someone else so much that you forgot. Now, Athena is a card of wisdom, so it's a card of teaching, learning, possibly going back to school. So one way you could sort of test the waters is to take a class, a certification, or something like that. So I would highly encourage that if that resonates. As I mentioned, not going to extremes this month when it comes to diet or money is going to be very good. Continuing to save and pay down and get on track financially is really what looks like it's your sole purpose outside of relationships. With relationships, be cautious of someone who may not have the same feelings that you do. Whether they're interested or you're not, you'll have to find a way to sort of resolve that. There is someone else that is interested and that is there and I think is a better match, so don't get upset if that doesn't work out for you. And as we expanded the forecast, remembering that to stay grounded, to also check your spine, maybe for an adjustment to make sure that there's no anything that's out of alignment. And then for those of you that might be having any sort of issues with reproductive system, to make sure you go to the proper specialist for that. In work, it is about empathy. That's going to help you get along and also get further along in your career. For love, we talked about this. There's going to be possibly someone who just really doesn't see things the same way you do, and could result in hurt feelings or unrequited love, so be cognizant of that. Finally, again, just connecting to your higher purpose is what the whole month is about, and making time to either meditate or, like I said, take a class or do something that you love is going to be what's going to best connect you to that. So I hope that this was really helpful, and if you ever need more sort of information or guidance, I offer one-on-one appointments, and I'll post a link in the corner for that. The best way to keep in touch is just to subscribe to the video, but I also have a newsletter, and I'm on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, so you can join me there. And if you ever just want to donate, just because this was helpful, feel free to do so. I'll put a donate button at the end, and that just goes to support the channel. Most importantly, and from the bottom of my heart, I want to wish everybody a very happy holiday season. I hope that your new year is fantastic, and I hope that this helped give you what basically you needed to get ready for 2017. We'll talk a little bit more about the next year when I do the January readings, but until then, thank you so much. Thanks for the likes, the subscribes, all the wonderful comments and emails. Keep them coming, and know that I really appreciate it, and I want to give that right back to you and say thank you so much. Much love and much prosperity in the new year. Sat Nam.